best when you actually have a quarterback.
I'm so sorry, guys. This audio's been out the entire time.
Oh, nice.
That's why I couldn't hear. I was wondering. Someone just told us. Thanks, Chris, for letting us know. Or whoever that is, Harrison. Thanks for letting us know. Reddit did to do, and welcome into more important issues.
We're back.
God dang it. We're struggling like the Vols.
Yeah, it's fine. We caught it before it got too out of hand.
Yeah, before I got mad.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad yet. I was getting there.
Yeah, we got it before we went on a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah, exactly. We need to recap all of that. Thank you all for hanging in there during those technical difficulties. I greatly appreciate it. This is why y'all are awesome.
Yeah,
this is why
people
Vol
on Facebook
fans
are like, no sound, no sound, no sound.
This is why Vol fans are the best.
Yeah.
Y'all hang around even in the tough times. So we appreciate you all.
That was just all cuss words for that.
It was all
that
bleeped
period.
out.
Yeah, it was all bleeped out.
And you should understand why. Yeah. That was all it was. We'll recap where we were at. We were talking to each other.
Yeah.
We could hear each other. Mm-hmm. That was good.
Tons of cuss words.
Yeah. I told Landon, I think JG is going to be the starter next time because I don't think Jeremy Pruitt is capable of making good, sound decisions. He hasn't done it to this point. Why would he start now?
Dude, I said it last shot. I wish he would do something to help himself out. But everything he does right now, like the post-game press conference, just getting mad at the media, it's like, dude.
And I understand it's frustrating. They're asking you what seems like simple questions, but you're not winning.
Right.
Also, Austin Price, he gets frustrated. Austin Price tosses him a softball. I think a lot of fans were mad about the loss, but were pleased with the way Harrison Bailey played. Mm-hmm. We're even pleased, even though they're frustrated, they don't understand why Shrout played, and that's fair to not understand. But we're like, there are some positives we can take from this game. Not saying that it was a moral victory, because those don't really exist, but the team competed. They fought hard. You saw some positive. Austin Price tosses in that one, and he's kind of been doing that all year, where he goes, he's like, well, there were some positives from and now all of a sudden, it's just like he wants to fight you on everything. Yep. And it shows me that his time is dwindling when he does that. It was the same thing with Butch Jones. It's just...
When he started turning on the media, you're like, okay.
I don't think it's turn on the media. It's just like being negative back at him.
It's right, they're doing their job too.
Right. And I just...
You're doing a crappy job at your job, but they're also trying not to do a crappy job.
Right.
So.
None of the questions that I heard him get angry about, I was like, well, he has a right to be angry. There's none of them.
Yeah, would you not rather answer questions about the game than just on COVID stuff?
Right.
I feel like that's the only thing he's asked about in the Monday press conferences. I would be more mad about that. He's like, guys, I can't tell you who is out.
Yeah.
I would understand that, but after the game, when they're asking specifically about that game, why are you that upset? Just don't do the press conference.
Yeah, at that point, it'd probably look better. Like Butch Jones after Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Was it Vanderbilt? Missouri? I don't remember. Missouri, I think. When it was just Josh Dobbs that met the media. I think it was Missouri in 16. Mm-hmm. Dude, it's so frustrating. And he gets mad about the quarterback question. Well, tonight we saw two quarterbacks that looked better than the guy you put out there. So it is a fair question to go, what did you see in them that started them this week? Or played them?
I think it was we beat Missouri in
16. You're right, we did. So it was Vanderbilt when Josh Dobbs came alone. But it's just, the quarterback question is a great question. And now it's not just about practice. I think Shrout played enough that it was significant game time. He scored 2 touchdowns. It was significant game time. You've seen Shrout and Bailey play in more than just practice. So it can't just be about practice now. I thought Harrison Bailey played really well. I thought the offense looked better with Harrison Bailey. I thought the offensive play calling looked better with Harrison Bailey in the game. Yep. If your play caller's more comfortable, play him. Also, he completed a swing pass, a screen, whatever you want to call it.
It's crazy what an offensive genius like Jim Chaney can think of if he has a quarterback that's competent enough to complete a screen pass.
How much more effective are they when you throw good balls? Not just catch them, because there's been some that he's caught that have been at ankles or that they've almost had to jump for. But how much more effective are they when they hit them in the numbers and let them go forward? Holy crap! I used to hate them. Yesterday I was like, keep throwing them,
or throwing balls where only your receiver can get it.
And Harrison Bailey did. I'm not saying he played a perfect game. That first third down pass, dribbled it. We'll chalk it up to nerves because that was his first pass of the game.
He didn't do anything that I was like, man, yeah, he probably wasn't ready to play.
Right. That and I mean, I'd say his biggest mistake of the day, and I know you'll agree with this because you were very angry about it. Maybe not very angry, but you were angry. The intentional grounding.
Yeah.
And you know what we'll call that? A freshman mistake.
It's a lot easier to say, he's a freshman than, a fifth-year senior just did that.
Frustrating because it probably cost you 3 points. Mm-hmm. It's a mistake he made, probably his biggest one, but freshman error. Hopefully he won't make it. If he makes it twice, we'll start talking about it.
But why was he pulled? Can we get into that? Why did they get... I mean, I thought JT Shrout played well. I don't want to take anything away from what he did. But why... If you thought Harrison Bailey was your guy going into the Florida game, why did you pull him?
Would JG have gotten pulled then?
He hasn't to this point.
Right. Arkansas was much later.
Yeah.
It was already... Yeah. It was already gone. I don't know, man. It's tough. Oh, man. All right. We already gave you a little preview of the Florida recap. We're going to really get into it. We are. Sorry that you guys missed the first 3 or 4 minutes of the show. Again, appreciate you all hanging on. We are going to recap the Florida game. We're going to talk about the QB situation because actually we said that the quarterback situation, which is the most important player on your team, is the most probably the worst part about your team. Even worse, the most important position in your program, your head coach, is currently doing the worst job right now.
I agree. Yeah.
So, you can blame it on the offensive coordinator, but he facilitates all that. You can blame it on Chris Winkie, but he facilitates all that. So, we will talk about the QB situation, though, because unlike what Jeremy Pruitt thinks, I think it is very, very, very important, and it does matter. And it's not safe to assume that you're just playing the best guy. We'll talk about that. We'll get into that. We're going to talk about some guys who impressed us, because like I said, there were some positives of that game, and I'm not calling it a moral victory. I'm not calling it, but there were some guys that played well. There were some guys who impressed. I guess, is it a good thing or a bad thing they were young guys?
I mean, that's kind of been the story all year.
Right. We've been young for 10 years, so hopefully these guys stick around and continue to develop.
The good thing is, like, your old guys can come back next year, too.
Yeah. I don't know if we
might not want.
Are you calling on number 2?
I don't think so.
Basketball tips off Tuesday. We're talking about that. They have lined up a game with Colorado.
The Buffs,
generous enough to make a trip to Knoxville. Probably gonna be chilly. They're generous enough to make a trip so we can get the season started. This is the start to a perfect season.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%.
National championship. Mm-hmm. No more games canceled due to COVID. We're speaking into existence. Speaking positivity.
Passion.
Huh?
Just 100% passion.
Passion. That's it. Nothing but passion. Gonna talk about college football. College football recap. Guys, locks of the week. Get them in. I'll be fair, 2-1, but I also tell you never or always bet with the Shants. I just took them to cover. The Shants won.
Shants won.
I love it. Always take them.
Jamie Chadwell.
I do kind of want to talk about, because I've got a question, because I talked to a good friend Matt last night. He's a huge Freeze truther. So I've got a question about that, and we'll get into that in college football recap, because we're going to talk Jamie Chadwell. Talk a little bit about him.
Okay.
ETSU guy, Tennessee guy.
His new nickname is the Maverick. He went to Anderson
County.
He's the Maverick.
The Maverick. I like it. Then we've got a high school football recap. State championship games. There end up being any field goal through Friday night. No field goals have been kicked in any of the state championship games. Did that hold true on Saturday?
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I'm not sure. Look into that. I'll look into that before we get there. Then we've got questions. I've seen some drop in the chat, guys. Sorry, I was passionate and getting them in. But we'll get to those. We'll get to those questions. We appreciate y'all asking. If we don't get to them right away, we got a spot in the show that's dedicated to them. So hang with us.
Guys, also go check out our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Blue Water Climate Control, and Hound Dogs. They do a great job of making this show possible, like Caleb said. Drop those questions in. Tell us where you're listening from. Now that you can hear us. Tell us where you're listening from. We're big geography guys. Milan competed in the state championship. I don't like the way it sounds, but that's the way it sounds. So I got to suck it up.
I was cheering for him. Cheering for him. All the teams I cheer for suck. So I'm like the kiss of death. Milan made it all that way. I started rooting for him against ALCOA, hoping to knock off, I think they're 6 in a row now, 18 total state championships. I was hoping Milan could spoil that one. But
could you, how hard it is, because high school football. We got put out in the first round every time. But you know how hard it is to like make it to the playoffs? Well, imagine going to Alcoa and winning 4 straight state titles.
Is it 4? I thought it was 6.
I mean, well, I'm talking about as a
yeah.
freshman, like you've won 4 state.
I couldn't imagine. I mean, and it's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're guaranteed to be in the playoffs each year. You're, at minimum. And then you might have a couple hard games in the playoffs, not 4 or 5.
Yeah. They get a couple kids held back, they get a 5th one.
Exactly. And then you got to count the transfers that come in. They probably only win one or two. So
yeah.
You got to count that.
Well, most of those guys are like 25 anyway, so maybe
they pass Swain's "Is he a grown adult?" test.
Speaking of
he's
that,
grilling at the barbecue.
There was a picture of Nick Chubb in high school.
He's a freak. He's a freak of nature.
Have you seen
He's
him?
3 times the size of everyone and then runs by him. It's ridiculous.
He's got a full patch of chest hair in the middle, just like old men have. And he's got more muscles than
It's nuts.
Yeah, everybody else that's running against him.
Mm-hmm. It's nuts. All right, let's get into Tennessee, Florida. Let's really get into it. I know we've talked about it a little bit.
What's your biggest takeaway from this game?
My biggest takeaway is that you went with another quarterback and it looked better. And I'm with you in terms of, and most of Tennessee fans don't understand why you pulled Harrison Bailey that early. But at the end of the day, you played 2 quarterbacks that look better than the option that you have right now. And we can look at it as a negative. Sure, it's easy to. You should have been playing one of these guys the whole time. But Pruitt should also be looking at this as a positive. I don't know why he was so angry about it. Okay, whatever. I told you this last episode. Bush Jones was way more concerned with being right than winning.
Yep.
If you were more concerned with being right than winning, you're not gonna win consistently.
That's true. Yeah.
Don't worry about being right or wrong. Just win.
My biggest takeaway is kind of on the negative side. Well, it's kind of really on the negative side. The staff has botched the quarterback position this whole season.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, it looks... If you had either one of those 2 guys that played yesterday play against Kentucky and Arkansas, you win those 2 games.
I agree. And I think what we saw at JT Strout this game has been consistent with what Vol fans have thought since the Kentucky game when you put him in for one drive and set him up for failure.
Yep.
He's a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm not saying he should start over Harrison Bailey, but he's better than JG. He's quality, and you put him in the game for one drive and set him up for failure, and then put JG right back in after he had thrown a pick 6.
Yeah, and Tennessee, they don't have, on offense, they don't have those big game-changing plays ever. We don't have huge runs. We don't really have guys that break a ton of tackles. We don't have a guy that can take the top off the defense on the outside. You maybe have those, but we haven't really seen where they're able to get open and we're able to complete a pass to them.
And I think the reason you don't have that is because there's nothing consistent on your team. If you can build consistency, and I think you got some of that yesterday, then those plays are going to happen. But you're not going to go into a game and throw a 60-yard bomb or get a running back out into space and let him go try and score if you don't have those 5-6 yard runs consistently. If you don't have those passes for 7 yards consistently, you're never going to get guys open into space and make big plays. It's not going to happen. Look at the end of the drives, those 90-yard drives you have. You have Eric Gray get a swing pass out into space and he goes score because you did things consistently. You kept Florida on their toes. They weren't on their heels. Excuse me. And then at the end of the JT Strout's big drive, Todd Chandler, I think it was like a 10-yard run, but broke 2 tackles, 3 tackles, kept his feet moving. You did things consistently, and you were able to make big plays. Now, yes, they weren't humongous plays, and in the grand scheme of things didn't do a whole lot for the game, but I think Eric Gray's was a 20-yard pass for a touchdown.
I think it was 15.
15?
Yeah.
I mean, a 15-yard swing pass for a touchdown, it's a relatively big play. But, yeah.
You don't have, the home runs.
Right, but those don't come until you have some consistency.
Right. And that's kind of my point is, you have JG who, he's a head case.
Can't do anything consistent.
Right. And so he's going to turn the football over. So if you have home runs, you can maybe live with a couple turnovers here and there. But when you're having a drive, our drives were 94, 96, and 96 yards, JG's never going to be able to do that consistently because he turns the football over.
Right.
So if you're able to take care of the football, that's the only way this team is ever going to compete with teams.
Yeah. Gonna have to find some consistency, and then we can start talking about hitting on those big home run plays.
Right.
Those will hopefully come. I think if I'm Jeremy Pruitt and I know I have a year, like I'm gonna get a free year this year, and Jeremy Pruitt should know it's too late. I think to fire a guy, unless you're waiting until after early signing day. It's too late to fire a guy. Mm-hmm. So you should know you're going to be here in 2021. Why that game should have been a positive for you. Now you're a competitor. You're mad you lost, but you just found out that you have 2 good quarterbacks on your roster that give you a chance to compete. You had a true freshman start at center and play pretty dang good.
Yeah.
You did. No, I don't think it was enough, but we were mad at the pass rush, lack thereof. But they did get 2 sacks yesterday. Florida's given up going into that game 8 total in 8 games. So I guess you got to them more than normal. Now you could have done better.
I think both of those were in the first half, but the second half they didn't really have to do anything.
No,
they were kind of on cruise control at that point.
Right, and I think your pass coverage has to get better.
It does
for sure. And what sucks too is they did good job. They did a decent job sometimes. But there was no rush. He had all day, and when that happens, unless your coverage is exceptional or they're going like 4 verts, someone's going to get open if he has enough time.
Consistency.
Yeah, exactly. So
those two go hand in hand. So you can cover for 8. If you have to cover 8 seconds, somebody's going to get open eventually.
Right.
And Kyle Trask did pretty much. Those two. One was a cover sack.
Yeah.
And one, we got to him. But, I mean, that was kind of it. I mean, he pretty much had pretty much all day to throw.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But, again, and I'm not...
But Florida can't freaking run the ball. I mean, they're never going to beat Alabama if they can't run the football.
No.
17 rushes for 19 yards, that's pitiful.
But Tennessee also, their run defense has been,
I mean,
for the most part,
it was
pretty good.
And that's something to build on as well. And I think we talked about it, is like, we can't get free of a blocker.
No.
We can move them around and plug holes, but we can't get free.
Right. And I think that probably... We knew our interior line going into this year. We knew that Tennessee interior line was going to be pretty good. You had some guys returning, and then specifically a guy who played pretty good yesterday, Darrell Middleton. You've got a pretty good interior line. Past the guys on the outside, the edge rushers, that's where you struggle. But yeah, I thought they did. I mean, yeah, Florida's run game just isn't great, but Tennessee also took advantage and didn't let that become part of the game. So you got to give them credit there. But I think that was, I mean, first off, as far as Tennessee's offense goes, the offense did not make any big plays for Florida.
No.
Not a single. So that right there is the best offensive outing you've had all year.
Yep.
And the only thing that changed, JG didn't play.
It's a common denominator.
And you know what else I like? And I like it in hindsight, I do, because I was frustrated when they sent Brian Maurer on the field. But you know what? Creativity.
Made him think.
You made a good point. He's a run threat. You put him out there, but he's not just a wildcat threat. It's not Eric Gray putting back there where all right, run's coming. You put him up there on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. You made Florida's defense go, oh crap, there's a different guy in the ball game. They're going up. The coaches on the sidelines are thinking, well, this could be a run or pass, and you got the first down.
Yeah.
We can call it stupid, but you know what? You finally got creative.
And you got a first down. No one is going to say you're a moron if you get a first down.
I would have been pissed if he had stayed on the field with the way Harrison Bailey was played. But you got creative.
The best pass of the day was Paxton Brooks. I mean, how has he not gotten a shot at quarterback?
It's in the NFL. The punter in the back of now. You know what? That's another thing. We talk about how it's a combination of coaches and players, not executing. Jeremy Pruitt kind of said it in so many words in terms of they got beat on inside leverage a lot when we were playing inside leverage.
Yeah.
So the players definitely have to execute. That was a great 4th down call.
Yeah. It should have been converted. You had a receiver drop it. It was a little bit behind him. You had a receiver drop it. You got to make those plays. So we will blame. I mean, there's still plenty of blame to go around, but yeah, that players got to execute. And they missed a field goal, so it didn't cost you anything.
Right. And again, I thought there were times that sometimes your defense played really, really well. And then
I think we're the only team
sometimes
to stop, to have back-to-back, to force Florida back-to-back 3-and-outs.
I mean, where is that deep? But I think, their third down conversion, I wrote it down, 6 of 13.
Yeah, we're bad. We're bad on third down on both sides of the ball. It's pretty terrible.
But Florida being 6 of 13. If I told you that before the game, you'd be like, "Oh, Tennessee probably was in that ball game." They weren't.
Right.
If I told you before this game that Florida only scored 31 points, how would you feel? Like, what would you think Tennessee played?
I thought we'd score around our average, probably 17. So I thought it'd be relatively close, and it kind of was.
You at least made it somewhat interesting.
Yeah. You at least can say you competed.
You can, yeah.
And I think Tennessee did for the most part yesterday.
Yeah, Florida's
a good football team. They're a lot better football team than we are.
Yeah, that's the gap is big is the reality of the situation, and I'm not excusing it. We still want to win.
They got two of the best players in college football.
Yeah, the gap's big,
and we didn't really have we don't have anybody to kind of match their production.
Right,
and we don't have a guy to throw 433 yards. We don't have Kyle Pitts, who's a matchup nightmare over the middle.
Right,
and they probably could have scored a lot more points if they would have just went to Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney.
But you know what also helps that? They didn't get the ball in enemy territory often.
Yeah.
They didn't get turnovers. Their offense had to earn every single thing they did. It wasn't gifted to them by the Tennessee quarterback this week. Like points were gifted to them against Auburn, against Alabama, against Kentucky. Points weren't gifted to them this week. That's the difference in the way Tennessee played.
Yeah, again, if you don't have those catastrophic turnovers like you have in the past couple games, then you beat Arkansas and Kentucky easily.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You probably beat Auburn.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just...
Squiggy on Twitter said, Mullen knew the Vols were not a threat offensively, so he called the game very conservatively. I don't disagree that it was probably a more conservative game for Florida than what they've been doing, but they threw the ball 50 times. How conservative can you truly be throwing the ball 50 times?
Right.
You're going downfield. They had Kyle Pitts wide open in the end zone in the first quarter, and Trask just missed it over his head.
Yeah, if they were that conservative, they would have been like, "Oh, we'll run the ball, punt, and give it to them." They weren't doing that.
They even went for it on 4th down once.
Yeah.
So, I don't disagree. If you've watched Florida throughout this year, yes, a probably more conservative game. A lot of shorter passes. And it wasn't always Pitts over the middle. So
yeah, it was Toney.
Toney got open a lot over the middle, but you can't throw the ball 50 times and say that you were just trying to run the clock out.
Right, and again,
you didn't shorten the game.
Florida needs to pad their resume.
Right, 8-1.
So what are that's stupid on Dan Mullen's part if he really did that.
I think it probably was a more conservative. Just based on their game against Georgia, for example, that was probably the only other game I've watched in its entirety this year. If you look at it, I think probably a little bit more conservative. You knew if you don't make mistakes, you're going to win this ball game flat out. So maybe not taking as many chances downfield. You don't want to throw interceptions. But Tennessee even had a chance at a pick six.
But the giving up 3rd and 10, I think there was a 3rd and 12. That's just bad. Like, you just can't have that.
Right. You're not going to win ball games.
I think they had 3rd and 10 twice on one drive and converted both.
You're not going to win ball games doing that. Harrison Bailey converted a 3rd and 12, by the way.
He did. Also, JT Shrout took off running.
JT Shrout
he looked pretty mobile.
I know. JT Shrout's gonna make me look very, very smart since I said a couple years ago that he was the best quarterback on the roster. He's helping me out. That was before Harrison Bailey arrived. But he's gonna make me look smart. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think there's definitely some positives in this Tennessee game. And I'm not trying to draw it as a moral victory, but Tennessee's gotta find a way. Hopefully we get to play Vanderbilt. It's looking like you're not even gonna get a chance to get that 3rd win. If you play like you did against Florida, you're going to beat Vanderbilt.
By 2 touchdowns.
If you play like you did against Arkansas,
you should cover against Vanderbilt.
If you play like you did against Arkansas or Kentucky, it could be a long, long day.
Yeah, they might not, no team
may get a touchdown.
Yeah, they'll probably just...
Florida, Vanderbilt will have a pick six if the other guy starts.
That's true, they will.
So...
Oh my God, could you... You say it's too late to fire a coach. If you lose to Vanderbilt, you're fired.
No, that has to happen, and then you look dumb for not firing him a couple weeks ago. So,
and that's kind of my point. Before we get into everything, I think
Oh, we're in it.
If
We're inside of everything.
If Pruitt is, if they think he's not the guy, isn't it just time to?
When you know things aren't working out, it is just better to cut it off now.
I mean, yeah, he can recruit, but I think this program is in a better spot than when Butch Jones left.
Right.
Now, it could, if you let it go too long, it could get back to that point.
Right. You've got to pull the trigger earlier.
But this is a year where, maybe not a lot of jobs are going to come open. Maybe you're not having to compete with a bunch of people to get somebody that you want.
Right.
So, I mean, if you wait a year and you're firing him next year, then you look like an idiot because you're probably getting somebody who you're fourth, fifth option.
If you wait at 1 year, you better go make a really, really good hire. If you wait 1 year. But also, if you wait 1 year, 2021 class falls apart. That's and then you have people leaving. You have people making dumb decisions that it's not even really the coach's fault. Again, it could go back to the pits of 17 very, very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just... That BYU team is better this year than they were last year.
Yes.
And we lost them last year. Coastal Carolina did a lot more with a lot less and beat that team yesterday.
Right.
So I'm not worried about I want those 2021 commits to be at Tennessee and have a great career. But I'm also not just being like, oh, yeah, we'll lose out on those guys. If we get a good coach, it doesn't matter.
No. You're right. Those guys, I mean, I think, but again, you have to.
I don't know. I don't know the decision. I just think if Jeremy Pruitt is not your guy, you think he's not able to get the job done, don't wait another year.
I agree.
Please don't wait another year. You're setting your program back another year.
Probably more than that when you talk about the guys.
Because if the one-time transfer rule is coming, then it doesn't matter. Those guys are probably going to leave anyway.
Right. Right. You're right about that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we can't think too much. I mean, like you said, the class is void. It doesn't matter when you just don't win ball games. So if it's time to pull the trigger, if you're even having second thoughts about Jeremy Pruitt being your coach, probably better time. Just do it now. Just do it now. Do it now. I hope these recruits see Paxton Brooks thriving at Tennessee. Hey, we're going to talk about players who impress. Paxton Brooks. Thank you for that, Voldemort. Paxton Brooks. Punted well. I think he had 2 pinned inside their 20. He should have been 1 for 1 for about 8 or 9 yards. And then plus you got to consider that he's not lined up 6 yards behind the center. He's lined up 15 yards. So that's a long pass to throw. Paxton Brooks played well yesterday, and that's a guy, he punted well.
And that's a guy who, friend of the pod, he faced some adversity. Joe Doyle had a great year. Was it their freshman year?
It would have been, I think, Joe Doyle's
redshirt
freshman year, and then Paxton's true freshman year when they kind of split duties.
He kind of got beat out, and then, he got better and better, and now look at him.
Yep.
Having a great season.
Absolutely. But yeah, I guess we can talk about guys who impressed since that started it. Sorry, I'm flip-flopping QB situation and guys who impressed. But
we kind of always talk about the QB situation.
Right. Yeah, it has, I guess, kind of been mixed in, sprinkled in there. I've got, speaking of QBs, I thought Strout and Bailey played well.
I did too.
And I thought Jim Chaney could have called a better game, but he's called a lot better game yesterday than he has in the past couple weeks. And again, if that's because it's your quarterback, make the effing change.
Not just because of COVID.
Right. I just don't know how, as a football coach, you can evaluate that film and go, I think we played better against Auburn when JG was in the game.
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't get it. Unless you think Cooper Mays is probably the biggest difference, so you got to let JG play a game with Cooper.
I mean, it's got to be a competition between Strout and Bailey.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not even competition. But yes, I would agree with that. But I think, again, but this is, again, what I'm trying to think in Jeremy Pruitt's head. If you weren't confident enough to give Strout a chance now, what really changed? So you got to go with that true freshman. So in my mind, it's just Harrison Bailey. But also, if I'm trying to really think like Pruitt, I'm like, what's the dumbest decision possible? And it's probably starting Jimmy Holiday there next week. So
or Paxton Brooks.
That might be a good decision.
Or just get him worn out where he can't punt.
Yeah, but that might be a good decision starting Paxton Brooks. He's got a hell of an arm.
Got a cannon. And he can see over the line. Dude's like 6'7".
He's a tall dude. I thought Harrison Bailey and JT Stroud both. I thought they did a good job of evading pressure. Couple sacks that Harrison Bailey, probably one that he took that I thought he could have done a better job of moving around in the pocket. He hesitated a little bit, and then I can't remember who it was. It was an end for Florida in that situation. Made a really good play, but he probably could have moved around better, probably so. But overall, I thought they played really, really well. Made some really good passes. Again, I think Harrison Bailey made one really bad mistake, and it was a freshman error, and that was the intentional grounding. And I think he was expecting Jalen Hyatt to be across the field at that point. So I think he was trying to throw it because it looked like he pointed that direction. So and when he threw it out of bounds, Hyatt was probably like at the hashes. So he was probably trying to throw it in an area, but where it couldn't be intercepted. Again, freshman error.
Right.
We can move past that.
Yeah,
we can't move past fifth-year seniors throwing 2 pick sixes in a game.
No, and Harrison Bailey might not even make that decision if this isn't his first real time in a game. I mean,
yeah,
he got time in Arkansas, got a little bit of time in Auburn, but that was considered garbage time.
And this shouldn't be much of a hot take. It's better than an interception. He didn't force it into pressure when he felt pressure.
No. Didn't turn the football over.
Those 5 yards, those probably, 12 yards since it's a spot foul? They suck. But it's better than a pick six or an interception.
You live to play another down.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Okay, I've also got Velus Jones Jr.
Yeah,
thought he could have played better in special teams. Maybe some questionable bringing it out of the end zone.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought he played really well. And then again, Jim Chaney I thought he called a better game.
But we were great when we were back.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He just knew.
Yeah.
What Jim Chaney liked. But I thought Jim Chaney got him the ball in a. I think he ended up throwing a screen, but brought him across the line of scrimmage there, and I think he ended up throwing a screen. I don't think it was a jet sweep. And again, just finding creative ways to get guys who can fly the ball. So I thought, I think all the wide receivers played decent. Probably could have gotten a better game from guys like Hyatt. I think he had a bad drop, but Josh Palmer had a big 4th down catch that was only probably going to be a 4-yard hitch. Ended up going for almost 10, 12 yards. Fought after this. I thought they played decent when given the opportunity. Probably could have played better, but the entire wide receiving group, I think, played a pretty good ball game.
I mean, it's about time we see more of Velus Jones.
Absolutely.
I mean, he should have been utilized in this offense way before now.
I 100% agree. How do you have a guy that is a faster version of Cordell Patterson and not use him like Cordell? Like you used Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, like you actually
the same guy,
Cordell Patterson.
Yep. Someone said I had fun watching that game since number 2 didn't play. I'll be 100% honest. If he had started that game, I probably would have left Thompson-Aller.
Again, like I tweeted out, like Pruitt could have helped himself out a lot more if he would have just made the quarterback.
Done it earlier, man. Done it earlier. Yep.
Because everybody was like, "Yeah, you don't like to lose, but you felt a lot better coming out of that loss than you have any other this season."
And a lot of your losses probably wouldn't have been self-inflicted like they were.
Right.
You might have just gotten beat by some good teams. Hopefully, that would have been the case. And then probably I got at least one guy on defense I'll shout out. But then I thought the running backs played well. And again, it goes back to I thought Jim Chaney got them the ball in creative ways, got them into space, let them work. Eric Gray had 7 receptions for 46 yards. Todd Chandler had 1 for 15. And then they both rushed for 49 and 47. I thought they played a pretty good ball game. If we could get a game like that out of 2 of them consistently, I think that the season would have been in a much better situation.
And on that Eric Gray touchdown, they had both of them in the backfield.
Yeah.
And Todd Chandler was a huge part in that play for blocking for Eric Gray.
What did that make Florida do? Think. Made them think.
It's crazy what that does. Crazy. I think another one for me, definitely Paxton Brooks. I have Cooper Mays on here as well. I thought he played pretty well. That was his first start. And a guy that hadn't had a ton of reps.
Right.
Especially at center. He hadn't had any reps.
Most of his game reps have come in that heavy formation where he's not even really an offensive lineman.
He's not even wearing the same number.
Yeah, exactly. I was very impressed with Cooper Mays. Got a little nervous after that. Todd Chandler got tripped in the backfield and he was pushed back 3 yards. I was like, oh man, it's tough to make that, like you said, first start. There's a lot of responsibilities that come with center than just blocking your guy.
Right.
There's a lot, and I thought he played really, really well.
Also thought Tyler Barron played pretty well. 3 tackles, had a sack. The defense again, it kind of goes back to the same thing with the offense. There's just not a ton of huge plays that they make. We can't buy a turnover.
No, not at all. Nope.
And we're getting the bare minimum of sacks too.
Right. And I'll give of course I'll always go with Henry To'oTo'o. Like every linebacker in orange right now, he could have played better in pass defense. But he's played pretty well all season. Had another pretty good game yesterday with 8 tackles, 2.5 for a loss. So
is that not like a? I know pass rusher is probably and a quarterback is probably your biggest position of needs next year, but I think a cover linebacker has to be up there.
Where the hell are our safeties though? It seemed like every time someone caught a pass over the middle or a pass that was behind the corners, so we're playing cover 2, cover 3, whatever, they're 10 yards behind where the play is being made every time.
There was somebody always open.
Which I guess you're not getting beat deep, which I have been asking that for the past couple of years, so I gotta be more specific.
Yeah. I mean, it was very similar to the Titans defense today. It was just like there was somebody always open.
And again, pass rush could have helped that, but because there were a couple times too, and linebackers. There was a play where I think it was DeAndre Johnson did a really good job of getting out into coverage, and Trask just made a great pass, but you had no help over top. Like he was able to lob it up to Pitts or whoever it was over DeAndre Johnson's head. I think that happened one time to Henry To'oTo'o. You got to have help over top too when you're talking about defending those guys.
Yeah.
But it also relied on Kyle Trask making
Jeremy
great plays.
Banks just got eaten alive.
Jeremy Banks got abused. Quavarius Crouch, when he was in the game, didn't play a whole lot better.
No.
It was tough.
We need if you're going to put a linebacker, you might as well, when you're going against Florida and they can't run the ball anyway, you might as well just put another freaking DB in there.
Let them try to run the ball. See what happens.
Yeah, good lord. They're going to get killed by Alabama, aren't they?
Depends. Apparently, Saban's abandoned all hope of playing defense. It's not a defensive game anymore. So who knows?
I think they're.
I think it's definitely going to be a shootout, and who probably gets the ball last. One of those games.
I just don't think. I think what Saban does the best is take the one thing you're good at away from you. Not saying that he's going to slow down Trask and Pitts, but I think he probably do enough where you're going to have to rely on a running game, and they just don't have one.
I think one of the only ways to, and here's a good thing. Someone said Thompson was abused too. Yeah, Bryce Thompson didn't play a fantastic game. The thing about Florida is I feel like to stay in coverage enough, because Dan Mullen does want to get the ball out of Kyle Trask hand quick most of the time. There's not a ton of throws downfield. Mm-hmm. A lot of it's usually quick. So I feel like you have to have a combination of guys who can man to man really, really well and a good pass rush. So Alabama's definitely going to have that. But are they going to be able to, just send 3 or 4 the whole game? And then if they do, surely you can start running draws at that point.
It'll be interesting. I think Alabama can run the ball, and I just don't think Florida is able to.
Yeah, I would agree that I think Alabama wins. So I would agree with that. All right. QB, do we need to talk about the QB situation? Have we talked about it too much? I just think JG shouldn't even be an option now.
Yeah,
I don't.
I agree. I just don't know if Pruitt thinks. I doubt he thinks the same way we do.
I agree with that.
But I thought both of them played good enough where I don't think they should have been. I don't think Bailey should have been pulled. Mm-mm.
Not that early. He should have probably had. I mean, it probably maybe like the Kentucky game. But if you want to give Stroud some game reps, he should have played the last drive.
But a guy that you gave one pass attempt against Kentucky.
Right.
It happened to be picked off. You put JG back in. He was an afterthought. He didn't even travel to Arkansas.
Right.
And so he was your next guy. And again, I'm not taking anything away from JT Stroud. If Harrison Bailey was the guy you're going to ride with, I don't understand what made you pull him when the kid needs all the reps he can get.
And also, in terms of Pruitt's philosophy, he always talks about how he, doesn't want to kill confidence, or we ride with this guy. Well, that means you had zero. You didn't know if you wanted to start here. In my head, what you've been saying in the media all year, and the way you've handled the JG situation, what I saw and heard because of pulling Harrison Bailey early was you don't have trust in him, full trust in him, and you don't care about his confidence.
Yeah.
That's from the things that you've echoed, or the things you consistently said this year. That's what your decision on Saturdays told me. So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it told me the leash is a lot longer with JG than Harrison Bailey was. He didn't even have a leash. It was he just had him by the collar.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't. And
it doesn't make sense.
I don't know who I start. Because I think JT Stroud played good. Yeah, Florida probably wasn't playing, their top defense. But he played great.
He played good. But
he 14, 121 yards, one touchdown. You can't really chalk it up any better than that.
I absolutely understand that JT Stroud played a good game. Me personally, I'm starting Harrison Bailey any games we play this year.
Yeah.
I'm starting Harrison Bailey.
I don't disagree.
He's a freshman. I thought the offense just looked better with him in there. Kind of the same things you've said about JT Stroud in terms of he just hasn't really had great chances to play this year. The good thing JT Stroud might have done is if he's interested in transferring, he might have gotten some teams to look up his contact information on Saturday night. Yeah, I think he maybe showed out and maybe showed some teams that.
Watch this pick. Ooh, Jalen Hurts.
Why did they put him?
Darnell
Carson Wentz get hurt.
Watch this.
Oh wow. What a catch.
Full layout.
What a catch. We're watching the Green Bay-Philadelphia game right now. I tried to get Landon to let me watch Pac-12 Extra After Dark. He said no.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
He said no. But yeah, I you know what? Let's tweet it just to confirm it. Start Harrison Bailey.
We did have some people say, hey, so I want to mention those. Dustin Price said, hey, guys, how's everyone doing? Doing great. Rough weekend when it comes to Tennessee fans, but hey, we're pushing through. Patrick Eady says, hello all. We got a freeze warning in here.
Like cold or freeze?
Like
Hugh.
Hugh.
It is supposed to. There is chances of snow tomorrow, so I needed to confirm.
You want to get to some questions?
Yeah, let's answer some. I've got someone said, what bowl do you think Tennessee will get? They are bowl eligible. That's good news. I hope none is the answer.
I saw something where they predicted them to be in the Liberty Bowl, but it's already been canceled.
Las Vegas Bowl.
That's right.
Against Oregon?
Yeah.
How'd that happen? Let's see if there's any bowl predictions out there. I guess here's my question. Would you rather, if you're a bowl committee, would you rather have a team like UCF, a pretty good non-Power 5, or Tennessee? Or let's go less than that. Let's go less than that because I think UCF's a little bit higher. Louisiana Lafayette, App State. They're pretty good non-Power 5 teams, or Tennessee.
I mean, the good thing is, like, if you're going to allow people to be in the stadium, like, Tennessee's going to fill it up.
But are you? Yeah, that's why part of my thing. Are they going to allow?
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's why I'm like,
but even viewership,
you do have more eyes. I guess that's a good point. But I was wondering, I guess, if that mattered this year. So you think it could still play a part?
Right, yeah, since it's on TV. But, I mean, if you're literally just looking at playing, yeah, you probably don't pick Tennessee.
If I'm a bowl committee, I know I'll just want the best matchup possible because
maybe Tennessee helped their case, only losing by 12 to Florida.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's probably obvious to the bowl committee. They're probably thinking they're going to get Harrison Bailey starting. Little do you know, Jeremy Pruitt's going to show up on December 27th and start JG.
Yeah. I mean, so we have a question. So let's get into this real quick. So we have Alex says, can we beat Vandy and South Carolina in the East Division? Good God, you better. I mean, South Carolina.
Thankfully, we did beat South Carolina. They look worse and worse. Kentucky scores 40 points against South Carolina and then fires their offensive staff this weekend.
I saw that.
I don't know the details. I just saw that they were fired. Okay, South Carolina was projected to play West Virginia in the Liberty Bowl. So I guess Tennessee is going to be predicted in one of these. Memphis and Tennessee in the Birmingham Bowl.
So South Carolina's season's over. So we already beat them.
Yeah.
So yeah, they went 2-8. So we'd have the tiebreaker over them. Vanderbilt
should be winless at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Should be. Their season may already be over.
No, they got Tennessee and Georgia.
I just mean it could be. They may not be playing another game.
That's true.
That's all I mean.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, you better beat both of those in the East Division.
Right. This bowl projection. This is 247s. They have us in the Birmingham Bowl against Memphis. That was put out 5 hours ago. So maybe we'll see. They have South Carolina playing in the Liberty Bowl.
I'm not going.
Or not in the Liberty Bowl. Yes, in the Liberty Bowl. Sorry.
I'll say that.
There's 2 things I'm not doing, and that's traveling to watch Tennessee in a bowl game and traveling to Birmingham in December. Yeah. Those 2 things will not happen. I might consider if it was in Florida, but
yeah, definitely not Alabama.
No, not at all. Not a chance.
Then we have Christopher Nichols says JG, Maurer, Strout, Bailey, and Salter make for a crowded QB room. If you had to drop 2 of those, who gets the boot and why?
I think
it's 2 that didn't play yesterday. Or
I could see Strout going. Because I've been thinking that all season.
If I was kicking them out, if you had the power to boot,
if I was booting them,
yeah, who would you?
Yeah, if I had to boot them, Maurer and JG.
Yeah,
and that Maurer kind of just gets the short end of the stick because Strout is probably a better quarterback that fits this scheme. Mm-hmm. I think Maurer. I've always thought he's brought some energy to the game. I loved the creative way they used him yesterday.
Yeah.
You got the guy on your team. Use him. He's dressed out on the sidelines.
And you put him in good situations, too.
Yeah, you did. You did not put him in crappy situations yesterday.
It's crazy what that does.
Right. Yeah, and then, but if I'm saying who I think leaves, I think Maurer stays. I think Strout. I hope Strout transfers because I want to see him. I like him as I think he's a good quarterback, and I want to see him go be successful somewhere else. I don't know if he's better than Bailey or Salter.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Salter in a college game.
I don't disagree.
Well, we've seen in high school, yes.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, a lot can change.
I don't disagree. But I think if Strout wants significant playing time, he's gonna pursue other opportunities. And then if Pruitt makes the right decision and doesn't start JG the rest of the season, I've got to think he's transferring.
Yeah, too.
Unless he just wants to. Or just not playing his 6th year of college football.
Yeah. Go to the CFL.
Maybe. But, yeah, I think it's... if I had to boot, that's who they'd be. But that's who I think will leave.
Yep. Christopher Nichols also says, I think one thing that gets overlooked with Tennessee is the offensive line play. Good in run blocking, but horrible in pass blocking. Do you see Pruitt letting go of Will Friend? What other coaching changes need to be made? Yeah, Will Friend hasn't been a fan favorite.
No. I thought the offensive line... How many sacks did we give up yesterday?
We gave up 6.
That's tough.
That's a lot. But you also had a freshman at center. Jameer Johnson was at left tackle.
Yeah.
And then you had Darnell Wright for most of the game, but Calvert came in and played some too. So you didn't have your... But yeah, the offensive line is...
They've been underwhelming this year. That's part of the problem.
Yeah. They're supposed to be one of the best in the country, and they just have not lived up to that.
Yeah, they seem to play better. I would have guessed 4 sacks, which still isn't good, but that's what it felt like. 6 is obvious. Both are too much. But I thought they played okay. I think Will Friend, is probably gone. I got to think Chris Winkie. He's not really bringing you anything. And are you going to get
Ty Simpson?
Ty Simpson? A lot of people think that's how
he was here this weekend.
A lot of people think that's how he would. Has he been in there 3 weeks now this year?
He's been here a lot, yeah.
That's what I thought.
I think if Tennessee had a winning record and
he bring his dad. Will he play for his dad? He brings his dad on staff. Can he be the QB coach?
I guess he could.
He's
a head coach
at UT Martin.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a good question. Is being a quarterback coach in the SEC better than being the head coach at an FCS program that isn't super competitive?
There's probably more money to be
I would think so.
Assistant coach at Power 5 level.
I think UT Martin's FCS.
You also probably have a better job security in the FCS.
Yes, I would think so. But yeah, I got to think Winkie's probably gone. And then, I don't know, are there any defensive... I mean, obviously there's a defensive line change. Do you see them doing something different with Niedermeyer? Yeah, I feel like you got to keep Niedermeyer on staff, right?
Yeah, somewhere.
So just move him?
Well, I'm like, but where are you going to move him to?
I don't disagree.
I thought he's on the staff to recruit.
Right, but if he's not successful,
he's kind of learning on the job, and the inside linebackers haven't been. They've been good, run game wise, but they haven't been great coverage wise. But I don't know if they get any better with a different coach. I just don't think we have cover linebackers. Yeah, I think Henry To'oTo'o is probably he's definitely your best guy, but cover wise, he's probably your best guy too, and he's not that great at it.
And he's not a covered guy. He's a run stopper.
Right.
So, yeah, you definitely need some guys around him to help him out. So, Jason Simpson has been at UT Martin, since 2006.
Job security.
So, I don't know if he'd be going anywhere. Not sure. They are an FCS team as well. Thought so. All right. Let's get into the good news. Basketball is coming back Tuesday night
That's why I
in
wore the
Thompson
basketball shirt today.
Bowling Arena. That's a great decision. I should have followed. You're smarter than me. It's that simple.
I don't know about that.
It's that simple. Tennessee taking on Colorado. I love it.
The Buffs.
I think it'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
Colorado seems to be playing pretty good basketball. Hopefully Tennessee is able to shake off some of the rust and probably added rust from not being able to practice as much. And then obviously a whole lot of schedule changes in the last week. They scheduled UT Martin, correct? Yeah. UT Martin for Wednesday night, and then due to COVID cases within their program, had to cancel that one, and were able to work in Colorado on Tuesday.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good game. They beat South Dakota 84-61, so won that one by 23. Beat Kansas State 76-58, won that one by 18. So yeah, it's a team that's played.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be something. They are having to travel to Tennessee on kind of a short notice.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be a good game to kind of see what Tennessee has.
Absolutely. I'd say
so far. And a good game to really get warmed up before that game against Cincinnati.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe something, I guess, kind of intriguing. It's probably just going to be a best of best matchup. Tennessee hadn't played at all this year, so it's going to be you can still scout them, obviously, but it's a little bit harder to scout not seeing this team play.
With a lot of newcomers.
Yeah, and then short turnaround time adds in you're not able to scout too much, so could be just a battle of I feel like you're gonna get to see a lot of just raw team on team. Nobody's probably really playing against each other. They're just doing what they do best. So I think
there's probably not a lot of game planning going on. It's just kind of play your game and not let the other team dictate what you do.
So I think it could be that can make it really interesting. I'm excited to see Tennessee basketball back. It's gonna be a fun one. That one's on the SEC alternate network, I believe. Let me pull it up.
Tennessee fans need this.
Yes.
They need Tennessee basketball back.
Yes, they do. Lady Vols unfortunately lost today to West Virginia in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. That was unfortunate.
In overtime.
That was tough. Tough loss for the Lady Vols.
Yep, heartbreaker.
But we do get men's basketball back this week. Number 13, number 14,
13.
13. Out of the top 10. Come on. We're talking about your 2021-2020 national champions, undefeated.
Don't pick us.
With the two best players in college basketball, John Fulkerson and Yves Pons. Come on.
Maybe Keon Johnson, too. Maybe
Number
we got
13.
all three.
Come on. And Santiago Vescovi.
We got 4.
White Lightning.
Decide Jordan James is going to be better. 5. You got 5 of the 5 best players in basketball. We got the Fab 5. Screw Michigan.
You're bringing too much passion now. Easy.
I'm just so excited, man. I'm lobbing it up for heartbreak.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, no. You're lobbing it up for a slam dunk of a season, if you will.
Yeah. But, I mean, heartbreak is... We're Tennessee fans. It's common.
How do I stop
But
cheering?
I'll take that way over what football's going through right now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. How do I trick karma? How do I stop cheering for Tennessee for the sake of Tennessee being better?
So you think you're
I think it's me.
I'm just kind of pissed off that they couldn't just let Florida cover.
God.
We scored with 30 seconds left. What in the...
I jokingly tweeted, bad look. I hope people didn't think I was serious. I
thought you were dead serious.
I didn't bet on the game, so I was mad for you.
I was heartbroken.
I was just mad because I'm like, if you're going to get your ass kicked, let them cover.
I'm just like, dude, that's...
Well, he tried
money.
to go for 2 to really seal the deal.
So, yeah, maybe it was Dane Mullen. God, piece of shit.
I knew I hated him.
Yep.
What was that ugly Jordan jacket he was wearing? Do you see it?
He's trying to get where people will stop comparing him to Cousin Eddie.
Is that why he went? Dude, his visors are so ugly. He wears the ugliest visors. He needs to go full hat or go Spurrier visor at least.
Yeah, just embrace the visor.
Exactly.
Go all out on the visor.
Yeah, don't wear these half visors. These
where it's just like a strip.
It's a half of a hat already, and then you're going half of the visor. Stupid. And I hate Jordan Brand on football stuff. That's stupid. You are talking to a man who desperately wants Jordan golf shoes, but
But Jordan was he was an avid golfer when he was...
he does golf a lot. So, makes more sense maybe.
Right, yeah.
Have you seen it? Is it him or LeBron James that has a ridiculous high school football highlight?
Oh, it's LeBron James.
LeBron. I didn't think Michael played football. It's stupid. That man could have been good at anything.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He's a freak.
Yeah. I hate that I went from Tennessee basketball to LeBron James. That pisses me off. Tennessee plays Colorado on Tuesday night. Saturday, they bring Cincinnati to Thompson-Boling Arena. Then App State. The following Tuesday, Tennessee Tech. That Saturday, USC Upstate, December 22nd. And then they get into conference play at Columbia, Missouri, December 30th. Conzo Martin in Missouri had a big win over Oregon on Wednesday night, I believe.
Who cares?
Oregon's ranked, aren't they? Am I nuts?
I don't know. They might be.
I think they are. We're going to talk about, is it time for college football recap? Yeah, it is. Let's do that. Because Missouri, with the largest fourth quarter comeback in school history to beat Arkansas. We can laugh because it is, what does it really mean? But Eli Drinkowitz has Missouri looking a hell of a lot better than Jeremy Pruitt has Tennessee looking right now.
I think they covered, too.
Were they favored in that game?
Yeah, I think by 2.5.
They won by 2.
Oh,
sorry.
Heartbroken.
Sorry.
Glad I didn't bet on that. I would have lost more money. I've had a rough weekend. The Titans just crapped the bed today. I just had a money line.
Yeah, I had a money line and a parlay. I told you that, and they lost it for me.
I had them in 2 parlays, just money line.
So, not happy with them. I need to. So I went. If you follow the locks from Wednesday and Saturday, you would have went 2-1. We'll be real about it. You would have went 2-1, and then if you take the chance like I always tell you to cover 10.5, 3-1.
The Maverick, baby.
75%. I love it on the weekend.
Maverick.
Listen.
Oh, did you like the shirts?
What'd they say?
Mormons versus
mullets.
mullets.
I did see that one. That was good. I
didn't know they were big mullet guys.
I've seen two interviews with their players that are all wearing mullets, so I had an idea, but yeah, I didn't know that either. Did have an idea. Yeah, that was a big Shant fan. Maybe I should. Nope, not gonna start cheering for them. I'm the kiss of death.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not doing it. I have too much love and respect for Jamie Chadwell to do that. Do that to him. Washington and USC just kicked off in Pac-12 Extra after dark. Washington State driving right now. Listen, I for one love that. Love that.
Oh, leechless Washington State?
Yeah. Leechless. I like that. All right, we'll start in the top 25, recap these college football games. Number 25, Louisiana Lafayette, winning in the most dumb fashion I've ever seen over App State, 24-21. Just quick kick it.
Oh, so you would never do an intentional safety? You'd never give that up?
From my own 30-yard line? Mm-hmm. I think about it every night. I dream about an intentional safety that's a Madden play. Except you didn't run around in circles to piss off your little brother.
Yeah, I feel like you would do that to run out the clock.
Well, that's what I'm like. At least get a holding penalty or something. And it's still going to be a safety because you did it in the end zone, but take as much time off the clock as humanly possible. You took 20, maybe 15 seconds off?
Yeah, if I'm that quarterback, I'm pissed. He was like, I just lost 35 yards.
And if you're going to get a safety anyways from the long snapper being terrible.
I think he had over 100 yards rushing, and that put him behind. Because he finished the game with 77.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right.
Yeah,
that was bad.
Pissed.
That was bad. Then you have, obviously, number 6, Florida, top in Tennessee, 31-19. Number 1, Alabama, 55. LSU, 17. Alabama's not. Florida's definitely not going to be able to slow them down.
No.
Definitely not going to be able to do that. Syracuse, 21. Number 2, Notre Dame, 45. Guys, take the over. Always bet the over.
Life's too short.
Big over guy. Number 3, Clemson, 45. Virginia Tech, 10. That over screwed me. I took it a live game, 55 and a half. They scored 55. Ridiculous.
I had one that I did 53. I did over 53. And I was like, I did under 53. And I was like, oh man, that's not going to hit. Because they scored there was an 80-yard touchdown right after I did it.
Oh, God.
And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go over 58. Guess what? They scored 56.
That's stupid.
So
that would piss me off.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed.
Alrighty. What else we got here? Number 4, Ohio State, 52. Michigan State, 12. Did you see Ohio State's defensive end score a touchdown?
Yeah.
That was nuts. That was a wild play.
Did you watch the Titans today?
No, I didn't get
They had a big man touchdown.
Did they? Nice. Nope, I did cooked on the Blackstone this afternoon.
I saw that.
I
saw you spinning the egg.
I did pretty good. And I did I had fun doing it first off, and it was way better than I thought I was going to be. It's the first time ever doing that. Cooking on the Blackstone, making fried rice, and it was delicious.
It was?
Yes, and I have leftovers. It was like eating at a hibachi restaurant. I was full and had leftovers.
You didn't bring any?
I'm sorry. I'll do it.
There's plenty of room on the TV trays.
There are. We could have brought in one more TV tray to eat on. That's what we'll just do. The next time Tennessee loses a really bad game, and instead of listening to us talk, you'll just listen to us eat.
So today
we all suffer together.
We were at Big Lots, and Raven was like, "Look at this table. It looks like something y'all could record on." I'm like, "Raven, we have the best TV trade podcast in the world. Why would we need a table?
We don't need a table now." Number 5, Texas A&M, 31. Auburn, 20. Covered. That covered for you too, right?
Who?
A&M?
Auburn. Yes. Sorry, yes.
There you go. Because you got it at 7.5.
My one win yesterday.
Nice. West Virginia 6, number 9 Iowa State 42, number 10 Miami 48, Duke 0. If David Cutler gets fired, do we just go get him, offense coordinator?
I wouldn't hate it.
Baylor 14, number 11 Oklahoma 27.
Did score a point?
Nope. And Miami's defense is not good.
Yikes.
Number 12 Indiana 14, number 16 Wisconsin 6. Indiana has turned it around since the Tax Slayer Bowl of 2020.
It's crazy what happens when teams play Tennessee. Like, we go in the opposite direction.
Always.
I mean, I was thinking about it yesterday. Like, 16, we beat Florida, and we're neck and neck with Texas A&M. And both of those are in the college football playoff talk. Indiana in the college football playoff talk, 6-1.
Yeah.
We beat them like what? Not even a year ago?
Not even. Number 13, BYU, 17. Number 18, Coastal Carolina, Chants. 22-17. Big win for the Chants at home. Myrtle Beach, classiest town in America, on the blue turf. I love it.
With the Maverick.
I'm not a big fan of colored turf. I'm a classic green guy. But if you're going to do it right like Coastal and get that perfect blue. I don't even know what color blue that is.
It's like a teal.
It is almost a teal, and it's beautiful.
It's nice.
It's almost green. It's so blue.
Yeah, it's like not like Boise State where it like hurts your eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Blue.
Apparently, every year Boise State has a ton of dead birds because they think it's water and they dive to. But I'm like, why are they diving if they can't see? It's weird.
That's awful.
Yeah,
I mean that's hilarious, but that's awful at the same time.
Number 15, Oklahoma State 22, TCU 29. Burn the Big 10, the Big 12 down.
That's terrible.
TCU is not good. Oklahoma State came into this year, college football playoff team. We're a college football playoff team. Shut up.
Is Chuba Hubbard hurt?
I don't know. I have no clue.
He didn't even play yesterday.
I guess I should have done more research on that, but it looked like a real easy lock.
2.5?
That was the only lock I lost.
2.5.
Number 17, North Carolina 49, Western Carolina 9. Iowa, number 19, Iowa 35, Illinois 21. Stanford 31, number 22, Washington 26. Would Washington have beat BYU this week? People are asking. Here's another one I almost took. I'm glad I ended up staying away. Number 23, Oregon 17, Cal 21.
Hey, you want to be pissed off? You want to be absolutely pissed off?
I do.
Have Oklahoma State. TCU had 5 turnovers. Oklahoma State had 1. And 1 went for a touchdown. Zach Evans. You remember Zach Evans? Everybody remembers Zach Evans. He fumbles, they run it back for a touchdown. And they still lose by 7.
We almost got...
How does that even happen?
We almost hired that man, too. So we can be happy about that, I guess.
He's terrible.
That guy played us for a raise. That guy played Tennessee for a raise.
I mean,
good Lord.
If he didn't get one there, we would have gave him one, no matter how good he is.
Oh, that's bad. 5 turnovers. You had 5 turnovers and win. How happy are you if you're TCU?
Yeah, good Lord.
Stupid. Here's some other SEC games. I mentioned Missouri. Largest fourth quarter comeback in school history. Down 20, I think, at the start of the fourth quarter. And won that game 50-48. Kentucky beat South Carolina 41-18 and then just burned down the offensive staff. I don't know what happened. No clue. It's amazing what happens, though. When it's not working, you just pull the trigger.
Yeah, I guess they thought they should have scored 100.
I guess. They did play South Carolina.
Yeah.
Play South Carolina. Bad. Yeah. So, that's possible.
Oklahoma State was also up 20-0 at one point.
Landon came into this episode and was like, how much can we piss off Caleb?
That's not true. I lied. They were up 16-0.
It's terrible, man. That is terrible. Oh, all right. Let's go to high school football.
High school football.
Let's do it.
It's over. This is our last time talking about it.
It is.
Congrats.
Fun high school football season.
Yeah, congrats to everybody who made it this far.
Glad they got to play the state championship.
Yep. All the way to Tech. Cool.
All the way. Champions are made in Cookeville.
The road to Cookeville.
Hopefully it will not be played there anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of people like it. Jesse Smithy's biggest thing is the old turf.
Yeah,
it's bad. I just think I want to see it travel. I know it's hard because you work out bids and contracts, but how cool would it be? You have these great stadiums of small schools in Tennessee they're beautiful stadiums that just don't get a ton of attention. ETSU, UTC, Austin P. You could even throw MTSU, and UT Martin has a great facility that you could travel to all these schools.
Carson Newman has a nice field.
Carson Newman has one. I think with them you're probably getting the issue of like space because they just have that one side of stands. They are pretty big, but did they add away stands?
They have another side of stands. Yeah,
is that fairly new?
It's not as big,
right?
It's been there since since I started there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. I thought for some reason it used to just have one side, but yeah. But it's a little bit smaller than where ETSU has a full side on both. UTC has Finley. That's a nice facility. Austin P, I believe, has stadiums on both sides. UT Martin is similar to Carson Newman's in that they have like a full home side and then a pretty small away side. But it's a good size. Like you could definitely fit.
Yeah, I think
two groups of fans.
I think it would be like more of like a high school game where the stands are pretty much filled,
right?
In a stadium like that. I think that would make the experience maybe a little bit better.
Yeah,
because just think of when we played in that jamboree at UT,
right?
Like there was just one section that was filled,
right?
It just felt weird.
And I mean, even a state championship game, you're not going to fill up more than a couple sections in Neyland. And it would be cool to see a state championship game in Neyland, but I agree with you. You want to match a cool atmosphere with a cool stadium. And It's hard to do that with Neyland or Nissan, where obviously it'd be cool to see games there, but it wouldn't match the feel. So I think if you were able to take it, all those fields I named have turf. So you don't have to worry about facilities issues. So if you were able to make it work at all those, first off, it would be fair to the Memphis teams who, in recent history, since I've been watching high school football up to like 2005, there hadn't been games in West Tennessee. So you'd get at least one set of games in West Tennessee. And then you get to travel, you get to see new scenery. So the guys at Alcoa who go to the state championship 4 years in a row, they get to go to new stadiums. Right. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun for everybody involved.
Yeah, not just Tennessee Tech, where it's basically another home game for them.
Yeah, right, exactly. But you could also throw Tech in that mix of stadiums I named too.
Yeah,
they've got a good facility. It definitely needs a facelift in terms of the field.
Right,
because they got a nice jumbotron. Two sides, two nice sets of stands. But
yeah, I just think there's a lot of stadiums that should be utilized.
Right. Not just
that. Yeah, not just Tech. Nothing taking away nothing from Tech. I think they've done a great job.
Big Golden Eagle guys here.
Right. In terms of like hosting it and everything, I think they've done a great job with that. I would just like to see something else added.
I think there's ways to make it better.
Yep.
I think there's ways to make it better. Yeah, go ahead.
So let's get into the state championship. So you had CPA on Thursday defeat Lipscomb Academy 35-28. You had Davidson on Thursday defeat University School of Jackson 53-35. You had Fayetteville with the upset over South Pittsburgh on Friday 20-14.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about that South Pitt team. I was ready to throw down on the cover.
Yeah,
I was ready for South Pitt to cover.
Yeah, good for Fayetteville. And then you had Oakland 56, Brentwood 33 and 6A on Saturday. You had Summit 28, Oak Ridge 7 and 5A. Summit, really good team.
They look good.
Alcoa over Milan.
LCOA
35-0. I think Alcoa only gave up 20 points.
Yeah.
In the playoff.
I mean they've got a ton of talent and well coached.
Dynasty.
Yes.
Elizabethton 41, Haywood 14 and 4A. You had McCauley beat MUS 44-0. My goodness. Then Peabody beat Meigs County 35-13 on Saturday. Congrats.
Congrats all those state champions. It's a very exciting time.
And runner-up. I mean, there's...
Did you mention Elizabethton?
Yeah. They beat Haywood.
Two in a row, right?
Two in a row.
Good for Sean Witten. Making his own legacy.
Yeah, good for him.
Winning championships. Something Jason's never done.
That's true.
It matters. It matters the last game you play in. Okay.
I mean, poor guy. He got there like right before.
Yep.
Or right after Tennessee was.
And then he got drafted by Dallas.
Yeah, and then he had to go to Dallas, and now he's with the Raiders.
Chris said Mullen is going to 4A next year. There you go. Ooh. Good for them. Did they? I wonder if they asked to get moved up. I wouldn't blame them, because Alcoa is not moving up.
No, they're not.
Not a chance. Not a chance. And you know what's funny? They could move up. They could move up to 4A and be just fine. They could probably move up to 5A and be just fine.
They could.
Not. They probably wouldn't. They may not win it every year like they do in 3A and 5A, but they'd probably be fine. You mentioned, what was that stat you told me about? They had 28 points this season, came against 6A teams?
Yeah. So I think 72 points were scored on them this year, and 28 were the 3 6A teams.
That is a good football team in any classification.
True. I mean, there's probably only 2 teams that can beat them in the state of Tennessee. Well, yeah. Yeah, and
I think 6A probably has some teams that would compete a lot more. Right, you wouldn't call them flat-out winners, but they could compete.
Yeah. Maryville and they beat Dobbins Bennett, who was right there with Maryville. Maryville and Oakland are probably the 2 teams that would probably beat.
Yeah, Alcoa. I think Brentwood would probably be a good matchup. Again, I think Oakland would probably beat Alcoa, but
McCauley, that
you think McCauley?
Some of those, like Brentwood Academy, would probably.
Okay, you think they give Alcoa a good run?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about it's 4A Elizabethan? I just haven't seen them play enough, but off the top of your head, you think Alcoa would still dominate, run the table?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Why doesn't Alcoa move to 4A? Because, yeah, they're a 3A school. They don't need to. Why would you? It ain't broken. Don't fix it.
And they would do the same thing in 4A.
I think they'd do the same thing in 4A.
They would probably do the same thing in 5A.
Playoffs would be a little bit closer, but as far as their district, be the same thing. A region now, I guess. 5A, again, a lot more competitive, but you're still probably sitting there going, they won 4 straight.
Yeah.
But they'd probably be a lot more competitive. And, yeah, they'd be good in any classification.
Right.
They're a really good football team. So, their record, the Maryville and Alcoa rivalry should tell you everything you need to know about. They'd be good against anybody.
If they're moving up, then they're going to add probably more kids.
Right.
And so they're probably even better.
Yeah, if they didn't just voluntarily move up.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Which, Maryville, they moved up, right? So they're not actually...
Did Maryville move up?
Or is their, numbers... Are they a 6A school?
They're a big school. I don't know where they stand. I can see if I can find it real quick. But I
was just curious.
I think they did move up last classification. I don't know, this new one that's about to start next year. I don't know where they fell there.
Gotcha.
But I can look it up real quick while we're jumping in. Do we have any more questions that we haven't gotten to yet?
That's all I had on Twitter today.
You know where when I think Maryville moved up? You remember when they did that Super 32 of 6A teams? Mm-hmm. I think that's when Maryville moved up.
Okay.
I think other than that, I think they're a 6A school. So they're just not one of the largest 32 schools in the state, but they are, I think, still a 6A school.
Gotcha.
Yep. I believe that's correct. Don't hold me to that.
Yeah, that's all the questions I got. If you do have questions, feel free to drop them in. We'll get to those before the end of the show. Yeah, I think that's all I got right now. You ready to go to segments?
Yeah, let's do it. Maryville High School definitely falls. I mean, they have William Blount, Whitehaven, Bradley under them, Summit under them, Hendersonville under them. It looks like...
Okay, so they are a 6A school.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they did that just to be...
They're a 6A, but they are definitely out of the top 32. So I think that's when they had moved up.
Okay.
They're not... I mean, they're pretty close. Probably 10 outside of being 5A. But they're definitely a 6A school.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, sorry. What were you saying about questions? Or did we get them all?
Yeah. You ready to move to segments?
Yeah, let's do it.
Most important of the week.
Most important. I'm hoping if I can hit this $1,000 bet.
I'm going back to high school football. You have Auburn High School. This is an Alabama 7A state championship. Did you see this?
Yeah, how's this not your fail? Are you doubling up here?
Yeah, I guess it could be both. It could be both.
You got to give credit to the team that won, though.
Right. So Auburn was up 9 at Thompson 20 with 119 left in the game. They kneeled out of a shotgun while trying to drain the clock. Went back to midfield. Sent the punt team out. Thompson blocked it and ran it back. Got the onside kick. They had 2 defensive pass interference and then kicked the game-winning field goal to win.
The first PI is close. Probably could have kept it. The second PI, I'm like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
Nuts.
And apparently that was going to be Auburn's first state title.
Oh, that really sucks.
Yeah.
Dang. That punter was taking his time.
Yep.
And they were coming. They were not letting up.
No, we're sending everybody.
Oh, shoot. Well, I'm going to have to find my most important. I don't know what happened here. What is up with Cal? Does Coach Cal have a mullet?
Coach Cal? Oh, slicking it back, baby.
Also, they lost to Georgia Tech. Kentucky lost to Georgia Tech.
So they're 1-3?
3, I think. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. 1-3.
Oh, no.
And his hair looks terrible. Just awful.
Also, this sucks for Tennessee fans, but the Browns, for the first time in 13 years, will finish the season with a winning record. They're 9-3.
God. Why do the Titans... that sucks. It's my fault. I bet on him.
Apparently...
Just money on, but I bet on him.
They have their... the AFC North teams, so the Bengals, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Ravens. They're 1-3.
The Titans are 1-3 against them.
And the one win is against the Ravens.
Cool.
The Bengals and the Browns. How do you lose to the Bengals and the Browns? Terrible.
Both of those cost me a lot of... Well, Titans didn't cost me a lot of money this time, but the Bengals one cost me like $650. They're the only one. All they had to do was win. Well, I didn't lose that. That's the wager I lost.
Oh, okay.
Or that's the winnings I lost.
Okay.
That wasn't my wager.
I'm like, man.
No.
Big spender over here.
I did. It was a... Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We're below Caleb.
It was a $50 wager. It was that first week you got a $50 free play from FanDuel.
Okay.
So I did a $50, 16 parlay. And if they had just beat the Bengals, money line, I win. Pieces of... They almost had a fourth quarter comeback, too. The Titans did.
Today?
I think his final was 41-35. They were down 20 going into the fourth quarter, I think.
Yes, yeah. The second half, they just came out fine. They started scoring.
The Giants beat the Seahawks?
Yep. It was like 17-12. It was 5-0 at one point.
I was about to take that 10.5 point spread.
Yeah.
I thought they'd kill them.
The Seahawks were up 5-0 at one point.
God bless. Is Saquon back?
What, is he?
No, that's not Saquon. Sorry. I saw a picture of...
I was like, I thought
back.
he was out for the season.
I did too. That's why I was confused. I was like, I don't know. Is it ACL? I don't know what happened to him.
I think so.
But I thought he was out for the season. I was like, how is he playing? Gotcha.
You got any more most important?
No, I don't.
I have one more. So, did you see the Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul are going to fight?
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
It's official?
In February 20th.
I can't wait. I'm betting Floyd Mayweather. House on Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, 100%.
What weight class? Logan Paul's a big dude. What weight class would he fight in?
It's an exhibition.
Right, but what? I feel like that's probably... I mean,
Probably out of his weight class.
I would think possibly 2 weight classes.
Yeah.
See if I can find out what weight class he would fight in. Like you said, it doesn't matter since he's 6'2". Good Lord.
What if he does win, though? There's no way.
There's no way.
What if he does?
No way. I will lose a lot of money because I am betting.
The house.
It says he says he's 0-1 in his professional boxing record.
Logan?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
he fought JJ Olatunji. I don't know how you say his name.
And lost?
Yeah.
Never heard of that guy. So
I haven't either.
Floyd's going to kill him.
That was in 2019.
Fail of the week. You got any fails?
I think I do.
I can go first.
I gotta go first. I'm looking for Logan Paul's weight class right now. So I can figure this
TV
out.
Teddy is back at it.
So that other guy was KSI. He's a YouTuber.
Oh, so he got beat by a YouTuber?
In 2019.
Yikes. TV Teddy. Back at it. I hope he doesn't call Tennessee games because I just can't stand him.
I've got bad news for you. He's going to call every Tennessee game.
Called a technical on Zaire Williams. So he dunks the ball.
Yes.
And is like trying not, because he has a knee brace on, he's trying not to come down on his knee. And so kind of like stops his momentum. Mm-hmm. And then comes down and he calls a tech for hanging on the rim.
Yeah.
Zaire's just like, dude, my knee.
Yeah, he's like, look at my knee brace. And old Teddy doesn't care.
I'm like, dude.
He don't give an F about nothing.
He's terrible. How does he still have a job? I guess Butch Jones has a job.
That's a good point, too. I was about to say, though, you don't have to be good at officiating to...
Yeah, because no one wants to do it.
Officiate. Right. I wouldn't after that freaking Texas.
Oh, my God.
God, that dude got...
He got arrested.
Arrested for misdemeanor assault, $10,000 bond. So, like, that's some serious...
Like, what are you doing?
He's also had done something. He had attacked a ref in a soccer game last spring. Like, that was not his first time doing that.
Good
I don't know the seriousness of the soccer one. Like, I don't know exactly what he did, but he went after a ref.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, that's a fail.
Yeah, bad. That was in Texas. And then the school district, not even like, which I don't know who, I would assume Texas has a high school football association, but the school district removed the team from the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Seems absurd, right?
I hate that because it's one guy making the mistake.
The only thing I can think of, like, to make sense of it is there's been similar issues that the coaching staff hasn't taken care of.
Gotcha.
Like right? Like, that's what it has to be.
Yeah, if it's the first time, that's a little bit absurd.
Right. But if you're like, I mean, we've been dealing with crap like this, and then your coaching staff or administration has failed to act, then maybe. But I have no clue. So
I got one more. So Louisiana, intentional safety.
God, that's absurd.
They had a 5. They're up 5, and then went up just 3. And then App State had a chance to kick a field goal to tie it.
Yeah, they did, and missed a 35-yarder, right?
It was, I think,
25-yarder?
Yeah, 25. It was short.
It's so bad. That's so bad.
And people were like, yeah, Billy Napier is a great name. I love that right after that, South Carolina hires Shane Beamer.
God bless. So I've got the Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather information. So Floyd has fluctuated between 130 and 154. Before his fight against that KSI dude, he weighed 199.4. He had to come in under 200 pounds.
Dang, so he's got 50 pounds on him.
Yep. Someone said the difference in weight classes between Mayweather and Paul will make it difficult for the bout to take place.
For the what?
For the fight to take place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess there has to be a weight class you fight in. I guess. I don't know. I don't know enough about boxing.
What does it matter?
Yeah, you'd think if they both agreed to the terms. But they, Floyd's team may want him to sign that he has to be like under X amount of pounds. And if Paul doesn't get there, the fight could get canceled.
If I'm Logan Paul, I'm eating.
Yeah, I'm getting out of that. So they're saying Logan Paul will have to trim down to between 147 and 154. That fight ain't happening.
40 pounds?
Yeah, that ain't happening.
I mean, he's going to have no energy whatsoever. Because he's already like he's a
big dude.
He's like 6'2".
Yeah, I think he was 6'2".
Yeah, that's hard to just be 150 at 6'2".
Yeah.
And have some kind of muscle mass.
Right. That's a bit... So we'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
So who announced that it was happening? Like Mayweather came out and said he'd do it?
I don't know. I saw it on SportsCenter.
Gotcha. Oh, this is updated in September of 2020. So this isn't like the same. This isn't really about it. It was just saying.
Gotcha. They were talking about it.
See if I can.
For a while. So.
Yeah. I'll see if I find anything before I leave your house tonight. Before we get out of here. I don't have anything else, guys. Appreciate y'all listening as always. Hopefully Tennessee gets to play Vanderbilt, and then hopefully Harrison Bailey starts.
Yeah, and hopefully we get basketball season in.
Yes. Oh God, please.
Starts Tuesday. Big expectations.
Yep.
Guys, thanks for tuning in to the best TV trade podcast in the world. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.